Scroll through Instagram for 5 minutes. You'll see sunsets, selfies, brunch plates, gym check-ins, vacation highlights. Now think about the people in your life who are completely absent from all of that. They have smartphones, they go places, they live lives worth documenting, but their profile? Empty or non-existent entirely. Are they hiding something? Are they antisocial? Are they just weird? Actually, the psychology behind this choice is far more fascinating and far more admirable than most people realize. For many people who don't post photos online, privacy isn't paranoia, it's a deeply held value. Psychologists distinguish between two types of people when it comes to personal disclosure: high self-monitoring, who carefully manage what they show the world, and low self-monitors, who share freely and naturally. People who don't post photos online tend to skew heavily toward high self-monitoring, but not in a manipulative way, in a protective way. They understand something that most heavy social media users haven't fully processed yet. Once an image is online, you lose control of it. It can be screenshotted, shared, misused, or archived forever. For privacy-oriented individuals, that loss of control feels genuinely uncomfortable, almost like a violation of something sacred. There's also a concept in sociology called contextual integrity, the idea that information should flow appropriately to its context. A photo shared with close friends at dinner belongs there in that moment. Posting it publicly breaks that integrity. These individuals feel that boundary deeply, even if they've never heard the term. Here's something most people don't consider. Social media posting is, at its core, an act of identity performance. When you post a photo, you're not just sharing a moment. You're making a statement about who you are, what you value, and how you want others to see you. For many people, that feels deeply uncomfortable, not because they lack confidence, but because they reject the idea that their identity needs external validation to be real. Psychologists call this internal locus of control, the belief that your sense of self comes from within, not from likes, comments, or follower counts. People with a strong internal locus of control are significantly less drawn to social media because they don't need the feedback loop it provides. There's also the concept of authenticity anxiety. Many non-posters feel that curating a highlight reel fundamentally misrepresents their life. They experience genuine discomfort at the idea of presenting a polished, filtered version of themselves because it feels dishonest. They'd rather be unknown than be known wrongly. A significant number of people who avoid posting photos on social media are introverts, but not in the way pop culture defines it. Introversion isn't shyness, it's about where you draw your energy. Introverts are energized by solitude and drained by large-scale social interaction. And here's the thing, posting a photo online is a form of social interaction. When you post, you're opening yourself up to responses, reactions, judgments, and attention from potentially hundreds or thousands of people simultaneously. For an introvert, that's exhausting even to think about. There's research suggesting that introverts experience social media differently from extroverts. What extroverts feel as exciting engagement, introverts often experience as overwhelming noise. Choosing not to post isn't antisocial behavior, it's self-preservation. It's managing their social energy deliberately and wisely. There's a growing body of research on what's called present moment awareness, being fully immersed in an experience as it's happening, rather than mentally stepping outside it to document and share it. Studies have found something counterintuitive. Taking photos to share on social media can actually reduce your enjoyment of an experience. The moment you start thinking about how something will look in a post, the angle, the caption, the filter, you're no longer experiencing it. You've shifted from participant to producer. People who don't post photos are often consciously or unconsciously protecting their experiences from this phenomenon. They're at the concert actually listening to the music. They're at dinner genuinely present in the conversation. They watch the sunset without framing it. This isn't a small thing, and a world that rewards documentation over experience, choosing presence over performance is a quietly radical act. Now, it's important to be balanced here because not every reason for not posting is psychologically healthy. Some people avoid posting photos because of deep-seated anxiety about judgment and rejection. Social comparison theory tells us that humans naturally evaluate themselves by comparing themselves to others. Social media is essentially a comparison machine, and for people with low self-esteem or body image issues, posting a photo can feel like voluntarily walking into a court where you'll be judged. The fear of negative feedback, of no one liking the post, of someone making a cruel comment, or simply feeling invisible keeps many people off social media entirely. This is a protective mechanism, but it's one rooted in pain rather than strength. Understanding the difference between someone who doesn't post because they're at peace with themselves versus someone who doesn't post because they're afraid matters, because one needs affirmation that they're making a great choice, and the other might benefit from working through those feelings. For some non-posters, it's not personal psychology at all. It's philosophy. They've looked at the social media ecosystem, the attention economy, the algorithmic manipulation, the data harvesting, the mental health impacts, the cultural obsession with performing happiness, and they've made a deliberate, principled decision to opt out. These individuals often have a deep awareness of how platforms are designed, not to connect people, but to maximize engagement. Every notification, every like, every scroll is engineered to keep you coming back, and some people simply refuse to participate in that system on those terms. There's something almost stoic about it. The idea that your attention is your most valuable resource and you will not surrender it to an algorithm, that your memories belong to you, not to a server farm, that your life doesn't need an audience to have meaning. So, the next time you come across someone who's mysteriously absent from social media, no selfies, no check-ins, no photo dumps, resist the urge to assume something is wrong with them. They might be protecting their privacy. They might be living fully in their moments. They might be deeply at peace with who they are without needing anyone else to confirm it. Or they might just have figured out something the rest of us are still learning, that a life lived beautifully doesn't require an audience.